Here is another video essay. I will say it'd be quicker for you just to read it, but this is a service I provide. It is a hard money, soft money issue. Our present times woes are thus. We're living with nature. I have bad eyes and I don't want to wear my glasses, but I might. Our present times woes are thusly. We are living in a matured future shock state, a social and psychological condition that Alvin Toffler wrote about in his 1970 bestseller. As French philosopher Jean Baudrillard described our current stage of this future shock, we are in the ecstasy of communication. It's a classic postmodern essay, check it out. However, I feel we've moved past the schizophrenic symptoms he describes and are in a socio and psychopathic phase. Let me explain. Anxiety and depression walk along together and are very common today. You might have a friend who has this, or you might be suffering yourself. The culture of addiction that so upset postmodern author David Foster Wallace, who is also the commencement speaker at Kenyon when I graduated or commenced in 2005, he took his own life. And this culture of addiction that he expressed such sadness over has accelerated with deliberate addiction-inducing software that walks along with us in our pockets, social media. Read about it. It's meant to addict you, keep you clicking. Feminism is often confused with the jealousy of deeply unhappy women. And the movement is tearing itself apart with inward strife. Good boobs are no longer feminist. Leftists have been co-opted by watered-down corporate lifestyle programming, becoming liberals. Boys without father figures to teach them to become men are espousing red pill, manipulative tactics to take advantage of girls for sex. And girls are responding with pseudo-lesbianism and sociopathy. In the absence of strong political leadership, banks have been governing without politics, as lucidly examined in Adam Curtis's BBC documentary Hypernormalization. Banks, because of their numerically calculating nature, hire people who lack empathy or they do not hire computers. The job candidates, who are both very clever and have absolutely no empathy, are on the psychopathic end of a pathological spectrum. And it is both marginally evident and rationally logical that banks would hire psychopaths and sociopaths. Psychology tells us, and it's been studied, that sociopaths and psychopaths are often the most successful as CEOs, and some leftist feminists portray this in the film American Psycho. Okay, every time tradable companies merge, there's a guaranteed profit. In a reactionary regulatory environment, that is, they keep reacting to every time there's some bad behavior, they come up with a new law, and it just keeps adding and adding. One that favors monopolies and lacks antitrust actions like we have. The profit motive has moved away from deep innovation and real-world risk-taking and towards speculation. So monopolies are one sure bet, as they are formed through mergers and acquisitions, as are stock buybacks and carry trades using cheap debt, and offshoring was, but they've already done most of that. Cheap debt comes from soft money. What's soft money? Soft money means a prolonged, generous monetary policy set by a central bank that has a monopoly on a nation's currency. The generosity of this monetary policy goes to those who have assets, because flooding the world with soft liquid money raises the value of anything finite like assets. Assets are houses, stocks, bonds, derivatives, and companies. So the government has given a monopoly to banks on our money. And that monopoly money is created when banks make a loan. And the banks loan it out for risk-taking investments overseen by psychopathic men. And women love psychopaths. because they're very polite, they're snazzy dressers who never say anything boorish, they're very attentive, often devilishly handsome. If they're working for the banks, they're rich. They're very interesting people at the surface because they've consumed all the interesting parts of normal humans in order to make themselves seem human. Evil monkey see, evil monkey do. Like H.H. Holmes of Devil in the White City, they know how to play a woman better than any red-pill boy child could. They love a fast-churning world of exciting uncertainty and short attention spans. And because women hate to be bored and they love to eat women, they're in a good place. Because politics is broken, the banks started taking over actual running of the country, at least in the 1970s. Some would argue this started back in 1930 with the Federal Reserve Act, and they'd have a good point. But they started running local governments in the 1970s with financial oversight committees and bankruptcy action. The banks hire politicians who appeal to our lifestyles and flatter us and put a human face on a psychopathic power structure. For you victims out there, you might call the politicians flying monkeys. They make sure that you're not having a political discussion that matters while telling you what you want to hear and being snazzy dressers and encouraging silencing or outright violence to anyone expressing a relevant political opinion. They're afraid of the banks, but they have sold out because they just want to get on with their lives like the rest of us, only more so because they've sold out more so because they're generally pretty comfortable with lying. Most politicians are not businessmen or scientists or doctors. They have backgrounds in law, which in turn is rhetoric. So to all of you smart women who can see through psychopaths' acts, and I don't meet many of you, but I know there's some, and to all of you free men who don't want to live in debt peonage, and I don't meet many of you because everyone loves credit or all material girls, and to any girls and boys who want to grow up and participate in the revolution of 1776. That's our revolution. A world where sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. Now is the time to participate. Because Donald Trump, yes, a narcissist, is nevertheless taking on psychopaths and their soft money hell. Take away the monopoly money, we take away the psychopaths, their crazy-making politicians, their speculation economy, and its uncertain maelstrom future shock instability. Bring back antitrust and do what Alan Greenspan, the man who accelerated the soft money and has since grown a moral compass in his dotage, has said we shoulda, coulda, woulda done. Go back to the gold standard and then some. If we let there be competition of currency and business and banking and healthcare and who gets to be a movie actor and who gets to have access to the right galleries to become a successful artist, then after the dark night of bankruptcy would be a profound dawn of freedom for mere humans. Freedom from psychopaths. Gone the future shock because you wouldn't have to swim faster just to stay in place as we do now. Unless you have assets. Gone the psychopaths, because not all of life would be about banking and finance and tumult. That's what empowers them. Come creativity, come stability, come children and forest gardens. At least in my world, if Donald Trump falters and fails and degenerates into a bitter reactionary where things are getting ahead of him, we need to take up the torch. Steve Bannon asked us to hold them to task. It is a duty. The debt psychopaths who own us all are our common enemy, feeding off our weakness and division. This is life and death. Life or death, y'all. So that's my essay. You can laugh, but you won't be laughing with us.